Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Jonathan. I'm a spiritual guide, a healer, and a medium. To my returning subscribers, welcome back, my friends. Welcome back. And thank you for liking and sharing, especially commenting on my videos. I absolutely love to interact with you guys. In today's video, I want to talk about, are you currently struggling to attract your first major manifestation? Are you finding right now that you're just not leveling up like you should? Are you finding that right now it's like kind of like a stagnant energy and you really want to propel yourself on your spiritual journey? If you do, stick around, because I'm going to talk about two spiritual principles that you want to implement in your life each and every single day. Let's get started. As far as on my spiritual journey, once I began to understand these two key principles that I'm going to be talking about, all of a sudden I was able to now get myself into that flow state. All of a sudden, my manifestations started to come forth quicker. All of a sudden, my consciousness started to expand at a faster pace. And all of a sudden, it became clearer and clearer as far as how I'm meant to move forward. And even as far as signs and synchronicities, really beginning to see each and every single one of them. Taking a step back, becoming more of an observer, and not just focusing in on the positive signs and synchronicities, but sometimes looking as far as certain ones that might be painful, certain situations that might not turn out in your favor. Is gaining a deeper understanding as far as why we've gone through these situations, learning at a much deeper level what that sign and synchronicity means. And as far as moving forward, once you're able to start to tap into these cycles, which there's many that are going on simultaneously, but just as an example, we just started the summer solstice. That's a cycle. We just started the eclipse season, which is going on till the end of the year. That's another cycle. You have the moon each and every single month. We have a new moon cycle, and each moon cycle brings forth a completely different type of energy. Sometimes it is about pushing outside of our comfort zone, reaching for our dreams, reaching for our goals. Other times it's taking a step back and looking within, letting go of certain things. And once you start to understand these cycles, you start to be able to implement yourself a plan where you might have this incredibly big vision, but now you're able to begin to break it down. Therefore, you're going to be able to start accomplishing many small tasks, which might not make you jump up as far as a major leap as far as their timelines, but all these tasks are going to be creating micro timeline shifts that are going to help to speed up to get you, to example, to that manifestation, help you get to that one emotional state of being, as an example. And what's important is to enjoy the journey. What's important is to see the blessings that are in front of you. An example, you were working, but because of COVID, you ended up getting laid off. You ended up getting CERB in Canada, or whatever the government gives you as far as whatever country you're from. Now realizing you've just been given the gift of time. You might be tight. You might not be able to have the same luxury that you had before. But what's important is to look as far as the blessing of time that you've received. Start looking in your reality like this. Because think about this, as far as why is it that you want to manifest all this wealth? At the end, it's to have more time. Why is it that you want to manifest all this wealth? To feel that security, to release that stress. Focus on the emotion as it's leading you towards your manifestation, and then start to focus on these cycles. Each moon cycle, as an example, create yourself some type of plan as far as something that you're going to be accomplished, but you have to put in the necessary work and effort in order to achieve this. And what's going to end up happening, it's going to start to clear the path. Because as far as this path, you're always just seeing 1 or 2 steps ahead. You're in a dark cave right now, and you're only seeing 6 feet in front of you. But at the end, there's nothing to be afraid of. At the end is your manifestation, as an example. And once you are able to get into these little cycles, pushing forth, beginning to choose yourself first. Because what you're going to notice, oftentimes, this happens to so many individuals. You go through the healing process, and all of a sudden you want to start to do acts of kindness for other individuals. But you've gone through some very painful situations, as an example, in your life. You've had to deal with depression. Therefore, you've spent a lot of time in very low vibrational frequency. Whereas now you've done this inner healing, you've raised your vibrational frequency, you're feeling good, and then all of a sudden you do an act of kindness for someone, but it is rejected. You do an act of kindness for someone and they look at you as if you're weird. That's a sign. That's synchronicity, letting you know we're proud of you. As an example, your angels are proud of you for the work that you've done, but you still need to reflect that back on yourself. You still need to reflect that kindness back on yourself before you start to expand your comfort zone as far as beginning to do acts of kindness for others. Or else it might be, look at home. Look at the people that are the nearest and dearest to you and begin to do acts of kindness for them first. Take care of yourself first, and then once you reach a certain vibrational frequency, once you reach a certain stage on your spiritual journey, then you're able to start to do acts of kindness. And it's extremely important to trust your intuition whenever you're going to do acts of kindness. You can sense this, and I've made this mistake so many times on my journey where it's individuals that I love and I care for that I have my hand on. I'm giving them my energy, even though in my heart, I just know that it is not time. I can just sense that their hand isn't out. And in those times, it's just being yourself. It's continuing to raise your vibrational frequency and getting them to come up to your vibrational frequency as an example. And at a certain point, you're going to see they're going to have their hand out, and then now it's going to be time to help them out. So really be selective as far as who is it that you give this energy to. Start setting yourself a plan each and every single day. Okay, the moon cycle, 14 days. What do I want to accomplish? Summer solstice, 90 days. What am I able to accomplish in 90 days if I honestly put energy, time, and effort each and every single day, or whenever it's possible, into? And it's all these work as far as each and every single day, creating all these little changes that are going to start to speed up your manifestation. That's going to start to make it clearer and clearer as far as how you're meant to move forward. And at a certain point, once those miracles start coming forth, that faith is going to grow. At a certain point, you're going to start to believe in blessings and in miracles. At a certain point, it's going to completely shift your mindset. It's going to completely shift your beliefs, where you're going to choose to be optimistic. You're going to be choosing. As an example, you're going through a difficult situation, and it just seems like there's no answers right now. And you start to think in your mind, I can't do this. I can't get by this. I can't understand this. Shift your mindset. Take a step back, shift your mindset, and wait for the answer to come as far as how can I do this? How can I accomplish this? How can I learn what is it that I need to learn to get through this? How can I remove this blockage? Start viewing things like this. Everything is happening for you, not against you. And it's once you're able to start to shift that mindset, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time, but if you're truly being honest with yourself, you look back as far as certain different painful experiences that you've gone through, certain experiences you've gone through in your life, as far as what was your emotional well-being and what was your mental health like at that moment. And if I'm being honest with myself, I know for a fact that it was my thoughts and my emotions that were creating certain situations in my reality. But right now, you've raised your vibrational frequency, and it's time to continue to put that focus on yourself. Lead by example. If you're seeing your example, you give a tip. I did this about a year ago, where I gave it was $8 at Tim Horton. I gave like a $12 tip because it was a Friday. I'm like, I'm gonna make that person's day. That person wasn't grateful. That person didn't even say thank you, didn't even say hi, because she was overwhelmed. This was a middle-aged lady, not middle-aged, she was like in her 60s, and I knew that she was forced to have to work. But at the same time, I didn't see it as, well, she didn't appreciate. She appreciated, but my angels, it made me realize, listen, start spreading that abundance, as an example, closer to home first. And then you're going to be able to expand that circle to more and more individuals as time goes on. The second key principle that's going to propel you on your spiritual journey is beginning to view every different aspect in your life as far as reaching that perfect balance. Is realizing sometimes you're meant to push forth, take a massive leap of faith. Sometimes you're meant to step out of your comfort zone like never before. Other times you're meant to be still. Other times you're meant to be doing this inner work, releasing what needs to be released. Start looking at every aspect of your life. As far as example, your work life and your home life. Is there currently an imbalance? Figure out how is it that you're able to bring forth this balance. As far as how healthy you are you eating healthier and healthier each and every single day, or are you still doing certain things, eating certain foods that you know no longer resonates with you. Start looking at every aspect of your life like this, as far as how is it that you're meant to find that perfect balance. And once more, looking in your reality is going to let you know what is it that you should work on. Understanding the moon cycles and the energies is going to help you to understand what is it that you're meant to go through. Understanding, as for example, the summer solstice. All these different energies are coming forth for us to work through certain things. And that's why oftentimes a lot of my messages are going to resonate, because we're going through the similar situations, but in our own way. And as soon as you start to do this, as soon as you start to look as far as finding that balance, it's once more going to doing acts of kindness. You start seeing people, okay, people aren't receptive of it yet. You still have some inner work to do. It's now time to reflect more and more self-love as an example, acts of kindness towards yourself. And as far as pushing forth, really tap into your intuition, really tap into your heart space as far as which direction that you want to take. Because as far as the spiritual journey, it's one thing to gain a deeper understanding as far as understanding what your life purpose is, but at a certain point, just knowing your life purpose isn't going to be enough. At a certain point, as far as your manifestations, as far as your visions, they're going to become clearer and clearer as far as what is your Noah's Ark? What is it that you want to be known for? What is your legacy? What is it going to be? At a certain point, these questions are going to start to come up. The visions are going to start to come in. And that's going to explode as far as your manifestations. But it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while of using these cycles to do these little time shifts, to shift timelines, finding that perfect balance. Because as far as for myself, the example is finding a perfect balance. I have to find sometimes a perfect balance between meditating and going out in nature. Sometimes I'll meditate more than going out in nature, and other times I'll spend more time out in nature. It all depends on which direction that I'm being pulled towards. And I just go with a flow on this. I find that perfect balance and I go with it. And once you're able to do this, you're going to get yourself more into a flow state, which is going to help you understand on a much deeper level everything that's happening around you. It's going to help as far as gaining a deeper understanding as far as why sometimes a seemingly negative situation occurs. If you give it enough time, what you notice is you end up taking a shortcut to get to a manifestation. It didn't quite turn out the way that you thought it would. As a matter of fact, it was something much bigger and much better. And as you push forth on this journey, view everything as lessons that are meant to help you evolve. View it all as lessons that are meant to level you up, because you're going to realize this after a while as far as going through these cycles. When you level up as far as in spirituality, it's not just like, let's say you're going from grade 7 to grade 8. No, you're going literally from kindergarten to university. You understand things at such a deep level that it allows you to heal. It allows you to calm that mind. It allows that faith to grow, that deeper understanding. It allows that love to come in from God, from your angels, which helps encourage to step out of your comfort zone. But it's all with finding that balance, using these cycles, and really beginning to create yourself a small list. Here's the goals that I want to achieve by this date by using the cycles. An example, the new moon coming forth in July is the Cancer new moon. And what you're going to notice is right now you might be pushing forth, taking action as of this very moment, but the next moon cycle, you're going to be taking a step back and really tapping into your heart space and really beginning to realize what is it that's important to you. And then in August, we're going to have that Leo new moon, and that's going to help to push and propel you on your journey. So really become aware of these and realize everything is happening in perfect divine timing. Right now, things are moving as fast as you're able to handle. Your angels and your guides, God don't want to put too much stress on you. And it's all about enjoying the journey. It's about seeing the blessings that have already come in your life and beginning to truly feel grateful for them. Tapping into that love vibrational frequency more and more is going to help to clear that guidance. It's going to make things much more clear as far as how you should move forward. You're going to gain a much deeper understanding. And it's all about releasing that stress. You release that stress, that fear, that guilt, that shame, any of those bottom feeding emotions. And now you're just left with love. you're just left with the most powerful vibrational frequency to use to manifest the resources that you need. Because right now, you're in the middle of discovering what is it that you're meant to do as far as your life mission. There's something incredibly important that you're going to achieve in your lifetime. You're going to be helping, as far as the overall collective, raise their vibrational frequency in your own way. But it's a matter of calming that mind, tapping into your heart space, beginning to use those cycles, reaching that perfect balance in every aspect of your life, and enjoy the journey. And if you're able to, get yourself grounded out in nature. If you're able to, 5-10 minute meditation, just focusing in on love, just focusing in on that wonderful emotion, and then release whatever needs to be released. And know this, everything is happening in your perfect divine timing. Well, that's going to do it for the video. I love you guys. Have an awesome day. Namaste.